Alrighty, welcome back to another film breakdown here on the MillerFootball channel. Things are a little bit different this week. I set unrealistic deadlines for myself, and it's been a long week, so we're a little bit off kilter, but it's fine. I wanted to do a film breakdown because the same thing happened last week, and I ended up not making one. So we're going to do a little bit of a quick film breakdown. Still got 10 plays, just not doing the usual minutia of an intro, outro, all that stuff. Talking about Bill Murray of the Chicago Bears. No, not the actor from Caddyshack. The Chicago Bears have a guard named Bill Murray, and he came in last week for Tevin Jenkins. Jenkins went out with an injury, also isn't looking like he's going to be playing in the London game this week against the Jaguars, so we might see some more Bill Murray this week. But when Murray played, he looked great. He had a very, very good game for the Bears. Granted, limited sample size. I believe he played 38 snaps. 3 or 4 of which were kneel downs. It would have been 3 of which were kneel downs. But that being said, definitely some good reps. This is the first rep he had from scrimmage. You're going to see here after Caleb snaps this ball. Give it a second. Should have started this a little bit later. So you see right away, the key here is he's lower than his opponent, right? 94 is up here. Murray is down here. Big difference. Low man wins. This is football. Also, feet, shoulder width apart. Just perfect way to fire off the ball here, right? So you're going to see as well, you get a little bit of like a hezzy step here from the defensive lineman trying to make Murray think he's going to go one way, cut the other. Murray doesn't fall for it. Stays perfectly in front of him this entire time. And that is going to allow Murray to take this outside hand that is currently free, and he's going to be able to jam this defensive lineman in the chest with it. And if you can get good interior hand placement as an offensive lineman, that defensive lineman is going nowhere. That's exactly what's going to happen. You see, it starts a little high because of the way he cuts. You get it up on the shoulder, but eventually that hand is going to migrate south more into the chest region, and that is going to be the reason why Murray doesn't let up any pressure here. You see right there, right here, great hand placement, feet still shoulder width apart, still lower than the guy he's across from. Just really, really good rep here. You see 94 can't go anywhere. He tries to reset, go inside. Murray's not going to let him. Caleb gets this ball off. Incomplete, unfortunately. You know, we're not here to talk about Caleb, you know, because I'm going to end up pissing myself off if I try to talk about Caleb and then have to deal with the comments. But Bill Murray, I mean, all things considered, really, really good reps, stepping in, you know, not thinking he's going to play this game. Ends up being the first man on the offensive line. Takes over for Jenkins. That's a really nice way to start off your day as, I believe, a second-year player. All right, so I was a little bit off on that last play. Murray is not a second-year player. He has been in the league since 2020. He's just been on the Bears for 2 years. So apparently, in my mind, you don't exist before you play for the Bears. I'm joking, obviously. But we've got Murray here lined up as left guard again. Circle is horrible. But main thing to notice here, for the first bit of this, defensive lineman is lined up on Murray's inside shoulder, right? So when Murray fires off here, he's going to fire with his foot to the inside to counter that. Caleb's going to make some adjustments here. See some linebacker movement. So right there, you see initial inside foot placement inside, right? Fires off inside. That's going to make 91 want to fire outside, and then he's going to try to cut this back in. Murray does a great job, again, being the low man. Feet shoulder width apart. He's got everything you want from a technique standpoint on this play. So he's going to let 91 come into him, and then you can't see it because it's covered up by his big, large, beautiful body. But he's got that inside hand placement. His hand is inside the chest of 91 here. And as I said with the last rep, you can get your hand inside as an interior lineman or as an offensive lineman in general, but especially an interior lineman, it's going to be really hard for that guy to get around you. So you're going to see 91 try to reset. He takes Murray a little bit inside. Murray does a great job of trailing him, of sticking with him, keeping his feet shoulder width apart. You see even here when Murray's getting driven back just a little bit, feet are still shoulder width apart. He's doing a good job of setting his anchor and building up resistance against this lineman. You see he resets his hands, makes an effort to get this hand further inside. This hand he's also trying to get inside. You're going to see Caleb here end up delivering a strike with Braxton Jones in his face. But Murray's all the way up here. Like, he did a great job of preventing pressure, preventing his man from getting past him. And then, you know, the Bears fan, I mean, we got to watch this throw. Beautiful. Right on the money. And of course, Big Bill Murray down here celebrating, arms up. He knows that's a beautiful touchdown. He's able to appreciate it. It's a great play. We'll watch this one in full speed because I feel like this is one of those reps that watching it in slow-mo, like, yeah, you get the little minute details, but watching it full speed really gives you an idea of how well Murray handled himself here. So again, initial inside step, and he just sticks with him. He's on him like stink on shit, right? He does not let him get by him, does not give him any leeway whatsoever. Just a really good job of sticking to the man there and giving Caleb enough time to deliver, like I said, probably the best throw of his young career. All right, cameras flip now, so Murray's still at left guard, but he's on the right side of our screen. And you see he doesn't have anyone lined up over top of him. Panthers have 4 down linemen. You've got 94 here lined up between the center and the right guard. You've got 48 here out on the edge. You've got 2 guys over here that we're not going to be worried about. So right now, you know, going into this rep, Murray knows he's support, right? He's support unless, 25 blitzes or anything like that. But more likely than not, he's going to be support on this play. And he does a great job of bringing that support. So you're going to see right away, he fires inside because typically you want your double team to be the center and the guard, right? So he fires back and facing inside, is the best way to put it. He's facing inside, so he brings the foot back. Again, he's low, feet shoulder width apart. Everything's good from a fundamental standpoint. Because 94 is firing inside into Murray, you're going to see he does a great job. Hand placement's a little wide, but you do what you can, right? That initial hand placement, not perfect, but he ends up doing a great job if we rewind just a tad. Hand placement was wide, but look, no hand there, no hand there. He ends up resetting his hands, getting them inside, which is a great job from the guard here. And then you're going to see 94 tries to take a pass to the outside. Murray's going to make him pay. He pushes him out to the outside and ends up getting a hand there on the edge rusher. And because of that, you get this total mess over here on the left side or our right, watching it from this angle. And look at all this green in front of Caleb. Right, if Caleb needs to get up and take off, he's got nothing but green grass in front of him. So Murray does a great job of walling off here, helping out Braxton Jones. You see 48 is like in the middle of a huddle here, almost. And because of that, 48's blocking off 94. You've got Murray helping block off 94. You've got Jones helping not block off 94. No one's going anywhere that's lined up over there. And Caleb realizes there's nothing he likes. He sees this lane. He's going to take it. He's going to take off. And Murray, had his back to the quarterback. You watch my videos talking about fullbacks, you're blocking for somebody if you're a lead blocker, which in this instance, Murray unintentionally becomes a form of lead blocker. You want your back to the guy running the football, no matter what. You want to wall off the guy running the football from the defender. That's exactly what Murray does. And that's going to allow Caleb, to pick up about 11 on the scramble. Just really, really good work, really good awareness, and a really good job of making 94 pay for trying to get a little cutesy there. Again, you see he starts to take off to the right, thinking he's going to loop around 48. And Bill Murray, like I said, just makes him pay, gets everybody caught up in the traffic, and then Caleb sees his lane and takes off for a first down. It's great stuff. Great stuff all around. All right, this one is going to be brief. Just talking about Murray's anchor. We've got Murray here lined up again. All right, on the left side of the line. He's going to end up taking on Shy Tuttle, who is lined up as a pure nose tackle right now over top of the center. We'll see what happens here in a moment once Caleb snaps his football. So you see 94, I believe it's Ashawn Robinson. Look, I get it, right? I get that this defensive line isn't very good. I'm not going to pretend like it is. That being said, let me have this. Let me get excited about a backup coming in and looking very solid. Because the Bears' interior offensive line has been horrible. Interior defensive line has been one of the best in the league. But the Panthers' interior defensive line, not very good. So you see Robinson, he's faking like he's going to cut inside, which gets Murray's attention. Tuttle is then going to pass off to Murray, and then A'Shawn Robinson's going to try to loop this around to get a hold of Coleman Shelton, to try to beat Coleman Shelton. Two guys here do a great job of passing this off. Matt Pryor even comes up and helps out with Robinson here. But obviously, we're worried about Tuttle versus Murray. Shy Tuttle's a big boy, right? He is a big, big fella. Not exactly the easiest guy to block one-on-one. Murray does a great job of just digging deep, keeping his feet wide, holds his position. Caleb's able to complete this downfield to Keenan Allen for a solid gain. I mean, to be able to handle a guy like Shy Tuttle, again, you got the wide footwork, hand placement. Not perfect. You got one hand in the chest and then one hand out here. But listen, when a 300-pounder rolls up on you out of nowhere, you got to do what you got to do, right? So he holds his own. Really impressed with the anchor here. Really impressed with the ability to not just get run over, because we have seen that time and time again from this Bears interior line. Just a solid rep. And again, I get it. Not the most impressive thing in the world, but to me, to someone who just wants to see a competent interior offensive lineman in Chicago, I'm very excited about plays like this. All right, here we've got a run blocking rep, and we're going to keep this one short. I know I said to keep the other one short, and it ended up being 2 minutes. This one will be short. This is going to be a run to the other side of the field, right? You're probably wondering, why are we paying attention to a guy blocking away from the play? Well, the tenacity. So first of all, you see Murray fires off the ball. He's low, wide feet, hand in the chest, one hand out here, which, again, isn't perfect, but not bad. He gets a little bit of help there. We're fighting. A'Shawn Robinson has no idea what's going on. He's got the hand up in the air like, help, I'm getting mugged. And then Bill Murray says, boy, shut your ass up, and puts him on the ground. I love the tenacity here. I love the willingness to finish the play, you know. To me, if you're an offensive lineman, or a defensive lineman for that matter, if you're a lineman, if you're a big boy, if you're a 300-plus pounder, and you don't take every opportunity you can to bury a motherfucker, you're doing your job wrong, right? Like, I get it. Away from the play's pretty much over by the time it happens. I don't care. You take your goddamn opportunity and you bury that dude, and then coach looks at that on film and says, damn, that boy's got it, right? And then you're able to laugh about it in the film room and have a good time. That tenacity, that willingness to finish plays, again, seems like the bare minimum. The Bears don't have the bare minimum at one of their guard spots. All right, this is a really nice heads-up play by Murray, who is going to get a little bit of help here against 94. So we'll go ahead, let Caleb snap this football, and right away you see 94 fires off in between the center and the guard here, in between Murray and Shelton. He's going to take the path to Murray, right? He's going to try to take on Murray here. So Murray's going to do a great job. Fires off low. You know, we've talked about Murray's good at getting low. Feet shoulder width apart. And he's going to get that inside hand placement. Because he gets that inside hand placement, he has full control over A'Shawn Robinson here. He's also got a little bit of support on the backside. So you're already starting to see Murray knows his job isn't finished, because you've got a one-on-one out here. And with the way this is all set up, if you can close this gap, you make life harder for 40. You make life harder for A'Shawn Robinson. And then A'Shawn Robinson, if you're able to close this gap, well, he's not getting past you over here. You've got support from the center over here. That completely takes him out of the play. So look what he does. He lets Robinson push him a little bit, and he uses that momentum to close this gap completely, still keeping a hand on Robinson's chest. So now 40 has to beat Braxton Jones to the edge. Caleb Williams has all of this pocket to step up into now. He does a great job utilizing the cushion he has with Coleman Shelton over here on the left side, or yeah, to our left, to his right, and completely clogs this up. Now Braxton Jones does a good job too, keeps his back to Caleb Williams. Caleb's able to step up in this pocket, and he's going to be able to scramble a little bit. You know, nothing's open downfield, so he's going to take off, pick up some yards. But the heads-up awareness to be able to not only take care of your man, but make Braxton Jones's life easier by closing off a gap for his man to take off through and forcing him to take the edge, which Braxton's pretty good at not letting guys beat him around the edge. That's great play. Like, that's a really good heads-up play. That's the type of thing that, you see after the game, and you're like, damn, this kid might have something. I know the last couple plays we were talking about, like, oh, that's the bare minimum. This is some high-level shit. This is some really good understanding of spacing and really good high IQ, high awareness play from a guy who's been on and off of practice squads for his entire career. So obviously with Murray here, we've been talking about some of the bare minimum. And honestly, for a guy that's supposed to be a backup, having the bare minimum is good because that means you have something to build off of, or at the very least, you are a competent security blanket. And in this game, that's what Murray started off as. He started off as somebody who was just being a really nice security blanket. The Bears needed that. They needed something consistent on their line, and Murray was that. Has he been an overall dominant player? Is he putting guys in the dirt? Is he killing people? No. But he's doing his job. And that's all you're asking a backup to do. But every once in a while, a backup goes above and beyond. And we saw a little bit of that on the last play with the closing up that gap. Not the craziest thing in the world, but still a really high-level play that you probably don't expect many backups to make. And then you get a play like this. And a play like this is where coach starts to wonder, oh, maybe we've been looking at this wrong. Maybe this guy isn't a backup. The Bears are struggling opposite Tevin Jenkins, and even then Tevin Jenkins hasn't had a great year. With Nate Davis, and then Matt Pryor stepped in as a stopgap and been fine. He got in some trouble at the end of the game, got thrown out. But you start to think to yourself as a coach, maybe we're looking at this wrong. Maybe this guy should be a starter. Maybe we should give him more looks as a starter. You got to, people that aren't Bears fans are probably wondering to yourself, what kind of play does that? Well, got Murray here on the right side of the line. Also for reference, just for clarity, if I say left, I'm talking about over here. I'm talking about our left. If I say right, I'm talking about our right. I'm not doing the whole mirror thing anymore. It's confusing me. I'm tripping over my words. Left is our left, right is our right. But anyways, bring Komet in motion. Line shifts. So because of that, Murray knows, just like the last play, he's probably got a security blanket here with Coleman Shelton. What happens? Ball is snapped. You rewind it just a tick. Murray's eyes are to the right because he knows he has this security blanket. Again, usual stuff, feet shoulder width apart. He's lower. You can tell just barely that he's a little bit lower than Robinson here. Why is his eyes to the right? Well, he has the security blanket, so he knows if Robinson wants to come around, he wants to be in position to block that off. Or Robinson cuts inside, maybe 48 loops inside. He wants to be there to cut that off. Suddenly in this position, he's not just taking care of a player, he's taking care of a whole space here. So because of that, when Robinson fires inside a little bit, does a good job of getting his hand in the chest, and he holds him up. Now again, because of the way this has worked out, he's got the security blanket in Coleman Shelton, and you see Braxton Jones is getting driven back a little bit. So Bill Murray, knowing he has his security blanket, is going to say, oh shit, Brax, you're getting beat, I got you. Boom. Plants Buddy in the dirt. And he's not going to sit there and admire his handiwork like Braxton is. Braxton's looking down like, damn, you got him, Bill. You got him, big fella. Instead, Murray's looking right around, and in this moment right here, A'Shawn Robinson sees, oh, there's no one here. Now I can get around Coleman Shelton. Bill Murray says, no, friend. Boom. He's coming back in. You got the arm up in the air like, oh, God, help. And he's going to push him so far back that he's going to trip over his own teammate's feet, and he's going to fall on his ass. And Bill Murray's job's not done. He smells blood in the water. He sees 93 here, one-on-one with Matt Pryor. He says, fuck you too. Everybody's getting some. And then Caleb's going to scramble. He gets rid of the ball because there's nothing open downfield. They throw a penalty flag for a illegal man downfield. But I mean, this is just an awesome heads up play. And again, without the fundamentals, without the basic stuff, without the knowing to fire off short, without knowing the spacing around you, without keeping your head on a swivel, without having a steady base, without having the tenacity to finish blocks, you don't get a lineman taking care of 3 players on this play. But when you have all of that, eventually it's going to culminate in a dominant rep like this. Granted, on reps like that, normally you want to see that result in a bigger play, yardage-wise, but things happen. You got a rookie quarterback. He's trying to make something happen. Nothing can happen because nothing's happening downfield. It is what it is, but just one more time. One more time. Boom. First hit. Comes back. Boom. Second hit. Comes back. Boom. Third hit. Taking care of 3 guys. Just awesome, awesome stuff. And then, too, when Caleb starts to scramble, 93's coming downfield, Bill Murray's in pursuit. He's trying to wall him off, and he does a good job. You see, he opens up just for a second there. I didn't pause at a good time, but he does open up for a second. Just in case if Caleb wants to go upfield, Murray's trying to wall this off. Just keeping his head on a swivel and looking for work. That's the kind of stuff you want to see. You want a lineman that's always looking for work. And that's what Bill Murray shows he's capable of being on this play. The last play here, I know I said at the top of the video, or at least I think I did, that I was going to do 10 plays, but honestly, I'm short on time, and a couple more of the plays that I wanted to show were really just more of the same. So I wanted to show something a little bit different, right? Because this is an offensive line film breakdown, and I know offensive line can get a little repetitive. This is just a run play. Ends up being a touchdown for Roschon Johnson. This is 4th quarter, Roschon's 2nd touchdown of the day. We've got we've got Murray here at guard, and then we've got Doug Kramer in this abomination of a formation. I hate this whole fullback center bullshit the Bears have been doing. It doesn't work. It's not good. It really limits how much you can do with your fullback. I could go on a whole rant about it. I just want to show real quick on this play, right? Totally removed from Murray, just looking at Doug Kramer. 1-on-1 with a fucking DB. You are a center, a 300-pound center with a running start. 1-on-1 with the DB. There is no reason why you should not clobber this man. What does Kramer do? Weak fucking hit. Weak ass hit. Barely moves him. Barely. What are we doing? No reason why this guy should be playing over Kari Blasingame. That's neither here nor there. Probably already pissed off the Bears fans watching this, because I know everyone's obsessed with this. Spoiler alert, playing a guy at their natural position, i.e. a fullback, is better than playing a center out of position just because, funny fat guy. Regardless, Murray on this play honestly does more of a fullback thing than Kramer. Like, I get it, Kramer lined up there and he moves, doesn't matter. Murray ends up being the most important blocker. You're going to see, first of all, he's chipping right here on this interior. Gets that initial chip. He moves across the line. And then he just opens up, gets low, and says, "Get behind me, Roschon. I'm going to clear out everything." And that's exactly what he does. He clears out everything. Roschon puts his head down, runs through a wide open lane that was just opened up by Murray being big. And then you get Murray finishing the block, playing through it. J.C. Horn gets pissy. This is the play where the big fight breaks out, because J.C. Horn here is a little bitch and can't handle the fact that he got by a guard. You know, you're a center. You got blocked by a guard. Is the way of the sport. Deal with him. You know, but good play by Murray. Good awareness. Again, getting the tiny little bits of chip help here. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but having that and then being able to get across the line, opening up for Roschon, just clearing that path, did exactly what he needed to. And that's how you score touchdowns. Everybody doing exactly what they need to is the most tried and true method of getting points in the National Football League.
Got a chance on the throwback. This was an ill-advised throw. What an unbelievable catch by Cole Kmet. And he cups it too. No movement when he hits the ground, tucked up against his shoulder. Wow. Using that